Thanks for listening to Uncle Sam's Soccer Podcast, keeping you up to date with the latest in American soccer. And don't forget to subscribe.
On this week's episode of Uncle Sam's Soccer Podcast, we look at the MLS playoffs and if the format is actually working for the league. Dallas native and Benfica B player Keaton Parks joins the show to discuss his journey in the soccer world. Finally, we took a look at the US Soccer Presidency and the new interim coach that was just hired. All this on this week's episode of Uncle Sam's Soccer Podcast.
Oh, good day. Hello. Welcome to Uncle Sam's Soccer Podcast. I'm Steven Jodder, Armand Kafai. Follow us on Twitter at Uncle Sam Soccer Pod. Go ahead and hit that subscribe because you won't regret it. Armand, busy show. How's it going?
I'm alive.
I'm alive too. MLS playoffs, and it's been flat. Really bad.
Yeah, to say the least.
To say the least. It's been bad. Like, MLS... not good. Not good whatsoever. God. Let's begin with Tuesday's games. Chicago, the 3 seed, hosting the 6 seed Red Bulls. And I told you there was going to be 4 goals in this game. Everyone would have been pretty excited for that. No, but when all 4 goals are for one club, it's not a good game. 4-0 was the final.
I thought I was surprised by the result. Yeah, Chicago's looked kind of flat recently. Red Bull always has the opportunity to make something good happen. We have Jesse Marsch at the helm, and the way they tactically play. I mean, I'm not surprised by the result. I mean, I felt it was 2-0 in the first 20 minutes. I thought the game was over after that. As soon as it happened, I thought the game was over.
Yeah, well, it was the first 11 minutes. Bradley Wright Phillips and Shasa Kleshin. 11 minutes to nothing.
That was. I texted you. I was like, "That's game over, man. There's no way Chicago can come back from that," and they didn't. So I mean, this game was pretty lackluster, to be honest. And I was telling people, I mean, there wasn't that many people attending the match, so it kind of just felt like a really boring game.
Well, the attendance figures, according to MLSsoccer.com, was 11,647. You know what the average for the season was? Armand, 17,000. They had 5,000 less people show up for an MLS game, playoff game, than they did for a regular season match. I mean, if you're MLS, you can't be playing a game on Tuesday night. What the hell are you thinking? The TV ratings were terrible. They're going up against the World Series. Then you don't even sell out the stadium. It's flat. The game broadcast is awful when the stadium's half empty. Not even half empty, majority empty.
Yeah, that's a Wednesday night game. I mean, these midweek games, I feel like, I don't know. I mean, for some places, they'll be fine, like Vancouver and Atlanta. But, I mean, for most, it's going to be a struggle.
I don't understand why they have these midweek playoff games. It's stupid. Just dumb. Because the schedule's not set. You just had the end of the regular season. Give a week. Allow fans to buy tickets. Allow them to think if they want to go to the game. Allow there to be a build-up. God, 4-0? I mean, I turned off the game at halftime. No, I had to continue watching, but that's what it felt like I had to.
Yeah, it was. I mean, yeah, I'll be honest with you. I think part of watching the soccer viewing experience is the atmosphere. And once the atmosphere is really lacking, the game just feels very flat. And especially at the scoreline, it was very flat. But hey, congratulations, Red Bull. I think they thoroughly deserved it, and I think that Red Bull Toronto series is going to be really fun.
It's going to be really fun. Jesse Marsch, under his tenure, the Red Bulls have been typically the favorite. The finishing high in the standings. The first time where they went in as underdogs, and you got the sense that there was more pressure on Chicago. And
for sure.
I think that allowed the players to really run free.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it looked like I mean, to be honest with you, it was Chicago's first playoff game in about 5 years. So I mean, there's obviously gonna be a little bit of pressure. Valko Paunovic's first playoff game and whatnot. But Steven, let me ask you this: was that the last time we saw Schweinsteiger in a Chicago Fire jersey?
Really,
I feel like it was.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks. He's still young enough that. I think he did a lot of good for Chicago Fire. I thought they were relevant. They sold out games because of him. Obviously, look at their attendance figure. I'm not going to pull up last year's, but I'm sure it rose because of Schweinsteiger, that factor. And another MLS club could use him, Dallas, because Kellen Costa might be leaving. I think he could kind of be a good plug and play. Plus, you're getting a superstar. So I'm thinking ahead. I don't know. Schweinsteiger doesn't have any options right now in Europe, none that I know of, and I've been reading the transfer rumors about him. Just curious to see what he'll do. Maybe he'll retire. I mean, he's won almost everything. But I mean, he didn't win the World Cup this year, so the Red Bulls, speaking of when they played Toronto, earlier in the season they had a 1-1 draw at Red Bull Arena.
They also had a 3-2 game, right, at BMO Field?
The 4-2.
4-2. Yeah, that
September
game, I was
30th.
watching that game. I remember watching that game. That game was actually, that's the reason why I'm excited for that series, because that game was back and forth and just full of energy. I mean, when you have a team like Toronto and a team like Red Bulls, their systems are so unique. You have that 3-5-2 from Toronto with a 3-6-1 with Red Bull, and they collide. It's a tactical, just really interesting tactically.
Who do you thought was the best player from Red Bulls on Tuesday night?
I thought the defense was really solid. I thought Kamar Lawrence put in a great shift.
Yeah.
Defensively, I think he didn't have a wrong foot the whole game. And also, I'd probably say Daniel Royer played really well too. So I mean, I thought defensively they were just outstanding, to be honest.
Yeah. And the game against Toronto is going to be next Monday.
Yep.
So they'll be at Red Bull Arena. They'll be home. They'll play the underdog, so it'll be real fascinating to see because the pressure's on Toronto. And then specifically, I think the pressure's on Michael Bradley and Josie Altidore because of their failure with the U.S. men's national team. Remember, they got booed by Atlanta in the season finale.
I'll talk about another booing in a little bit because, I mean, I think it's a trend across U.S. soccer now. But Steven, what do you think of the Vancouver-San Jose game? I mean, I told you I wasn't surprised. I mean, people were telling me they expected San Jose to win.
What?
And I was like, you guys
minus
have to,
21 goal differential.
You guys have to be like joking with me. They're like, no, I think their form is really good. I was like, no. You have to be like, are you serious? A team that comes in with a minus 21 goal difference, and they're a favorite only in MLS, but it was an easy game for Vancouver. I mean, you watched it. San Jose looked terrible, to be honest with you.
Well, the first 30
awful.
minutes, it was okay. Right? It was okay.
Once the floodgates opened, they opened.
Oh, that's the thing. With Freddie Montero scoring the 33rd minute, after that, it was smooth sailing.
It wasn't even close. Oh, my God. That was a joke.
Yeah, this is just... It was a joke of a game. It was bad Tuesday night. I mean, you're talking about an aggregate...
Wednesday night, come on.
Tuesday night. Wednesday night, sorry. It was a bad aggregate.
9-0.
9-0, and you and I, if I would have told you 9-0, there would be 9 goals scored tonight, you would have been like, all right, sign me up. I'm excited. Not when they're for 2 clubs.
Yeah, but I think we saw Vancouver kind of solidify themselves as a very scary team. People thought they couldn't do it in the playoffs, and I mean, you have Teixeira, you have Montero, both of them playing well. This Kendall Watson defensively, just being that big towering presence. I mean, overall, this Carl Robinson and his team looking really good, and I think they can really challenge Seattle, and maybe they can beat them honestly.
Yeah, no, I agree. Attendance figure was nice, 21,000.
And apparently they might open up the upper deck for the Seattle game, and you know how much that Cascadia rivalry means something. So
oh, for sure. And remember, Vancouver lost on the Cascadia Cup, so there's extra motivation to beat these clubs.
Hell yeah.
So, which is fascinating. San Jose, goodbye. Thank you. I'm not talking about you anymore.
Yeah,
minus 21.
Let's not talk about them.
Terrible. And then let's go to Thursday night's games.
Interesting.
Really interesting dynamic because MLS had a terrible, terrible Wednesday night. I can't repeat how bad that was for the league. Then, literally, they put all their chips on one game, and that was Atlanta Columbus, and it actually performed really well. That was a proper playoff tournament football game where both clubs went at it. Tactically, it was chess. You had back and forth. Players were dead by the end of the 120 minutes.
They hit the post 4 times.
God, it's just incredible. I know. What are your thoughts off the game?
That has to be an MLS instant classic. That game, I think, was up there with the 0-0 draw with Chicago and FC Cincinnati in the Open Cup. I think those 2 games are really fun to watch. First off, you got to give credit to Columbus. They really limited Atlanta's attack 100%. Joseph Martinez didn't get all the opportunities he usually does. Almiron didn't have that much space to operate. The wings didn't have that much space. Greg Berhalter did a brilliant job controlling that offense. And during that game, I don't know if you noticed, Steven, but defensively for Atlanta, I mean, they've always done this, but they seem so vulnerable.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird thing because going forward, Atlanta have all the momentum with them. I mean, they have the talent, the pace, the skill. They have the creativity to really pose threats. But going backwards, there were moments where Columbus had opportunities to score. When Parker saved it off the line, you're talking about inches separating Columbus not having to win through a penalty shootout.
I mean, yeah, and excuse me, and when the game was just in the open game, even during the first 90 minutes, it was. I know this is kind of like Atlanta's style, but it looked really vulnerable today, where they had their 3 in the back, but it was just their 3 in the back. So it'd almost be a game of transition to where you get those 3 to stop them, then put it back into your 7 there up top, trying to score goals. I thought it was just a really interesting dynamic by Martino. I think that's where most of Columbus is. I mean, you basically against Atlanta, you need a counterattack. If you counterattack them and you hit them on a counter, you get it. But go ahead.
I was going to say 41 total shots were taken between the 2 clubs.
41. They couldn't score. And for Zach Steffen, what a game.
Oh, fantastic.
What a game.
Beautiful.
What a game.
Now, this was really good for the league. I think this was a game that if you tuned in and you're like, what is MLS playoff? Their attendance figure was a little subpar. Let me just get
subpar.
Well, for Atlanta's standards. 67,000.
Subpar.
67. Not too bad.
You see, this guy has too much expectations, man.
Hey, I'm saying Atlanta United has won my heart. Okay? If there's an out-of-market club that I like, that I will follow and just have a softie for, it was Orlando City, but Orlando City has just kind of ruined it because they haven't made the playoffs, and it's just kind of like, eh. Atlanta United, when they were waving their phones in the air and singing whatever it was, that was awesome. No, that was awesome. I think the atmosphere created by Atlanta United causes the casual fan, especially if you live in the Atlanta United, to go to a game. Because often in sports, especially in American sports, the fan experience isn't necessarily being part of the game. It's more about just reacting to the game and creating noise. That's it. But soccer has the weird aspect where you are as much as part of the 90 minutes as the 11 on the pitch or the manager on the sideline. And Atlanta United has captured that. Now, it's sad that they didn't move on, but it's